I'm right in front of the Hong Kong BBQ Master here in Richmond, BC. They serve some of the finest Chinese barbecue meats. This place is the best for the roast meats. So look at the lineup here. It's early afternoon, still lots of people waiting here. And then the masters at work here. This is where all the action starts from. Ah, look at this roast pork, man. I could eat the whole slab. Look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that. There's barbecue pork. Oh, maybe you should have had the spare ribs. They look good. You want some? You want some? Ah, this looks like, I think that was a goose, I think.
Oh, the ribs
and
look
you
the
have
best
some,
thing.
And you have some duck here. Oh, juicy looking duck. Sweet. Ah, look at that, look at that. Look at that roast. Look at that soy sauce chicken. Nice big plump chicken. They cook it in soy sauce. Really moist. One of my favorites here, the soy sauce chicken. This is their specialty. 2 items with rice. You get roast pork, juicy roast pork, you get some juicy duck. You have the sauces over the rice. Look at that, look at that. So the roast pork here, it's nice and fresh. I ordered here, so the skin is usually crispy. So on the bottom here, they put seasoning, sometimes put a sauce, so you get flavor and the meat. So usually I like it well marbled, so there should be a lot of fat here, and then the layer of meat here. That is crispy, and the meat is nice and moist. Lots of flavor at the bottom of the meat. The skin is nice and shiny. The meat should be moist. So they cook it just right. Sometimes they overcook or undercook it. So let's see. Their duck is nice and moist. So you can order a whole duck, or you can order rice with 1 or 2 or 3 items, whatever you like. The second plate here, we got the 2 items with the rice. You have the char siu, which I like as medium fat. You get a choice of lean, medium, and fat. And then you get the soy sauce chicken, which is really moist. It's all fresh. So I usually order this. And you get some green onions with ginger on top and a little veggie on the side. Ah, look at that, look at that. So this is the char siu, which is the Chinese barbecue pork. So I like the end piece here, so it's nice and crusty. So here it's a medium fat, so it's a bit of fat here and meat. So some people like it more lean, some people like it fat. I like it medium now. I used to like it fat. Sometimes I like it fat too. That end piece is my favorite because you can chew on it. You get lots of flavor coming out. It's a hairy melon soup. It's like a daily soup, but you pay for it extra. So you have the hairy melon. You got some pork bones. You got some beans in there. So a lot of places don't serve this kind of soup anymore, but they still have it here. The white man's reaction to Chinese soup. Tell me what you think.
Good.
Good soup. Okay, good.
Yeah, it's pretty mild.
Yeah.
Yep. I like it.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, very simple soup. It's a daily soup. So they have different ingredients every day. This kind of soup, I always put rice in it. We have rice. So you eat the soup with the rice. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. Hairy melon soup, that's what we have today. Different kind of melon. So when you cook it, you can't tell sometimes. So I put some rice in the soup. Look at that, look at that. That's like when people eat chicken noodle soup. Some people eat the chicken soup without the noodles. When I eat the soup, I have rice with it. So the two go well together. To see at the other table, they ordered like a whole chicken or a whole duck. You can't eat it here. You have to take it home because it's more expensive to order in the restaurant. If you order like a whole chicken or a whole duck, it's cheaper. So I just see the other table. They're actually opening the boxes here and eating it. So they give you a warning. You get warning. I had it done at another restaurant. You can't be doing that. That's a no-no. There's the barbecue master himself right there. The big lineup. This is afternoon. Big lineup still. Today we have a recipe for Chinese barbecue pork, also known as char siu. So be sure to make some extra so you can use it for other dishes such as wonton soup, fried rice, and other recipes throughout the week. For this recipe, you need 2 pounds of pork shoulder or pork butt. Cut the pork into 4 large pieces, lengthwise. In a bowl, put 4 to 5 tablespoons of char siu sauce. The secret to this recipe is the maltose sugar, which is contained in this char siu sauce. If you don't have char siu sauce, use 4 to 5 tablespoons of Chinese bean sauce, hoisin sauce, or Chinese barbecue sauce. For added flavor, add 2 or 3 tablespoons of light soy sauce, also known as regular soy sauce. Add 2 to 3 tablespoons of Chinese oyster flavor sauce. So if you're missing any of the ingredients, don't worry about it. I also like to put 2 or 3 tablespoons of ketchup or tomato sauce. For added color, add 1 teaspoon of beet powder. So beet powder is a natural ingredient. It will really give a nice color to the char siu barbecue pork. So mix all the ingredients together so you'll have a fantastic marinade. Maltose is similar to honey, except it's less sweet. It gives food a nice shine and texture. So if the char siu sauce or barbecue sauce doesn't contain maltose, you can add it in separately. So just add 2 or 3 tablespoons of maltose into a bowl. Add about 3 tablespoons of boiling water to break down the maltose because it's pretty stiff. Then mix it up and add it to the marinade. Pour the marinade over the pork. And then mix the marinade into all the pieces. Even better, just let the pork marinate overnight in the fridge. So when you're ready to cook the barbecue pork, take it out for at least an hour before you put it in the oven. The best way to cook the barbecue pork is to put it on a rack on top of a roasting pan. Put 1 cup of water or more in the roasting pan. Preheat your oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit and cook the char siu barbecue pork for 30 minutes. You can turn the pork over at the halfway mark, around 15 minutes. Usually I just let the pork cook for the whole half hour without turning it over. Add 2 tablespoons of honey to the leftover marinade that you saved. At this time, use a brush or a spoon and slather some of the marinade over each of the char siu pieces. As you can see, you're going to get a nice shine with this marinade. So when you finish marinating the char siu, set the temperature at 350 degrees Fahrenheit and cook the char siu for another 15 minutes. So once the char siu is finished cooking, let it rest for at least 10 to 15 minutes before you cut it. When you cut the char siu, cut it into bite-sized pieces. Put the char siu pieces on a nice serving plate. Be sure to save a few pieces for your other recipes throughout the week. There you have it, my version of char siu, Chinese barbecue pork. You'll be proud to serve this dish to your friends and family. Is this better than store-bought? Only you can tell when you try this recipe. So you look at this end piece here. This is my favorite piece, right in the end there. Wow. Lots of nice fat there. You gotta have some fat. Crispy. It's really crispy. Lots of flavor. That's really good. So this is the char siu, which is the Chinese barbecue pork from the Hong Kong BBQ Master. This is one of the best places for a Chinese barbecue in the Vancouver area. This is in Richmond, just near Vancouver. Oh, look at that. Wow, look at this. So this is the end piece. Look at this. Wow, this is my favorite piece, the end piece. Real good. What's happened on East Hastings, what's happened in Chinatown is going to be transported to Richmond. So people in Richmond are afraid they're going to have a tent city, a homeless tent city set up in the area around the Richmond hospital.
No drugs! No drugs! No drugs! No drugs! No drugs!
There's a rally here in Richmond City Hall. It's because there's a proposed drug consumption site that might be going up in Richmond.
Smart or smart ass?
Anything you like. I don't censor anybody. What do you think? Is this Vancouver the way you remember it?
Yeah, it's never been good down in this section of town as long as I've lived in Vancouver.
So today is Saturday, February 26th. It's around 8 p.m. right now. So we're just checking out the downtown east side after the big storm yesterday. So I'm here with Richard. Have you noticed any changes so far since the last time you were here a few months ago?
Well, I guess we're not on the same street that had all of the tents before. It looks like you can walk the sidewalk now.
Okay, we're just approaching the tents now. So there used to be some more tents on this side, but east of Main. So this is just the ones over here.
Well, there's a bunch of stuff down that side street.
So do you notice in this area if there's less tents?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, I think there is some improvement. So actually I found out that this building on the right here is actually a storage place for tents. So people can actually store their tents right here, right? That's on the sign. Do you see the sign there?
Yeah.
I think they cover it.
But see someone selling clothing.
Yeah. So they actually store the tents. If they want to go away for a while or go inside living somewhere, you can store the tents here and then they come back here. Yeah. So I think the last couple of days was kind of cold. It was a storm yesterday. So people maybe found some temporary indoor accommodation. So now maybe they're back.
Well, you know, now they export these people. Like they give them bus fare to come up to where I live in Powell River.
Yeah.
And then they apply to go, there's a society lift.
Yeah.
They said they were going to build housing to address the housing shortage in Powell River for, you know, people who had addictions and mental issues, but instead they export people from here. So now we got to deal with the crime of the junkies from Vancouver.
Well, so you're dealing with the problems we have from Vancouver. You're dealing with it.
Yeah, because they added to, well, let's spread the crime and the addictions out into the rural areas instead of having it all, you know, accumulated here. Yeah. Let's put them into other communities. So, you know, that's the shits for the people, you know, who left these areas to get away from it.
I think you mentioned that a few years ago.
You know, they have signs down here. Supportive housing available in Powell River. We'll give you bus fare to go there. So the people go up, and then, you know, we got the homeless problems up there, and then we got the, you know, the break-in problems and the drug problems, and they don't put any extra money into the medical system there. So weekend nights, I bet you the emergency room, probably most of the people coming in are the same people ODing every few weeks, you know. And they take, you go to the emergency room, you can't get in because they're dealing with the drug overdoses. Yeah. And it's, you know, if you're going to send people up to a community like Powell River, you got to increase the infrastructure so that the citizens that live there don't suffer from this influx of, you know, of addicts.
Just moving the problem somewhere else.
Yeah, and you're not helping the community out at all. Yeah. It's like, well, we don't care about the community, we just care about the addicts.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues with this situation right now. It's like like where I volunteer, the Union Mission Gospel Mission Union.
Union Gospel Mission.
Union Gospel Mission, yes. I keep getting Union Mission Gospel. Anyway, their thing is basically people have to be sober, drugs or drinking for a certain amount of time, and then they get to live there, and then they go through different programs. But
Well,
they have to be sober first.
Yeah, well, they originally BC Housing said, well, this is how it'll be, and if they get caught using drugs, they'll get kicked out. If they get caught stealing, they'll get kicked out, and that. But that was all bullshit. They don't enforce it.
Yeah.
So, the locals call it the heroin. They took these railroad cars.
Yeah.
Storage containers,
Yeah.
and they made housing units.
Yeah.
So they put them all together.
Now I think the approach is a little bit different in terms of they don't want them to overdose on bad drugs. So it's not about abstaining from drugs, but basically taking drugs, but making sure the drugs aren't lethal or poisonous.
Yeah.
So it's a different approach. So I don't know enough to really make a comment in terms of what I think. So I don't know if that's the route they're still on, or are they changing? But I think there's part of a experiment for next so many years.
So this is more like it was before when we were here, all the tents blocking the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Only there were more of them, I think.
So do you notice there's fewer tents now?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe, but it might be because that night
So this area used to have
they
a lot
all
of
had
tents.
snow on them, so they stood out more than they do now, the dark ones. And I hadn't seen it before, so it was all kind of new to me.
Yeah, because there used to be more over this way, and now there's that entertainment venue there. So they have different activities there. So probably cleared up that block. So then there's less down here, and then the only part east of Maine that's building up is right in front of our family association there. So it seems to be a bit of a build up there. But other than that, I think it's actually cleared up quite a bit. Because there's a bunch of tents over here. So it seems to be the same amount or even more. Some more tents here. Where across the street, there used to be a bunch of tents. They're not there anymore. So here, in front of our association building, you have quite a few here.